Have you ever wondered what you can learn from Netflix? I mean, apart from how to launder money for drug cartels or how to become the next president overnight. Well, in this video, we're going to talk about 7 ways that you can grow your business thanks to Netflix. Hi, it's Ryan Anderson here. Now, if you prefer to read, this video does have an accompanying blog post, either directly below this video or linked to it, depending on where you're watching. But either way, what I wanted to do was go through 7 ways that you can grow your business thanks to 7 strategies that I've noticed Netflix uses. Now, maybe you already use these, maybe you use some of them. Either way, let's check them out and you can decide whether they're right for you and your business. Okay, so strategy number 1 is some rules are made to be broken. Now, I understand that Netflix and Blockbuster met in the past and there were discussions around how they could work together, each handling what their strengths or areas of expertise were at the time, and Netflix was denied, okay, not interested, you guys are too small, too niche, it's not gonna work. So Netflix focused on what they were doing and, well, who's here to tell the story today? So the thing is, what rule was anyone breaking in that scenario? And what rule were people sticking to that perhaps was their downfall? Now, Blockbuster, and you can correct me if if you think I'm wrong, but Blockbuster was so focused on delivering movies that they could not see different ways of doing it. They just saw DVDs are the way that people are doing it. Now, I don't know exactly what piracy played into this, but in my mind, and all of these strategies are the way I see it and my interpretation of how Netflix does it and how perhaps they arrived at these ways of doing things. But Netflix, okay, could perhaps see that people were downloading movies, so the idea of downloading was not a problem because people were doing it illegally. But what if they could make as much as possible available legally for a very good price? So what they did was they thought, forget the rule of delivering movies by DVD. What if we can deliver movies pretty much instantly? You don't need to jump in your car and go anywhere, and we can give you access to more than any shop can hold. So they smashed the rules and they made new ones, so to speak. So rule number 1 is some rules are made to be broken. So take a look at the rules that you believe shape the way you do things. Could you take one well-known, a rule that is considered to be the norm, this is how we do things around here, and could you smash that together with another rule? So in the case of Netflix, if it was people want to watch movies, which the likes of Blockbuster assumed had to be done in hard copy by DVD, could you take one rule and then smash it together with another rule? So Netflix, they know that people wanted convenience. So they put them together and then you got a streaming service, which is arguably the most popular one in the world. So what can you do in your business that can create a new rule, so to speak, something that can help you to stand out? Okay, that's strategy number 1. Okay, strategy number 2 is provide options and value. Now, Netflix has 3 pricing tiers last I checked, which was yesterday, and you have 3 different prices available and they give you a bit more for each one. Now, that's not rocket science, that's not new. So the idea though is, what are you doing in your business? Are you providing 2 or 3 options, each one providing more value that makes more sense if people choose them, so they'll get more bang for their buck? So let's look at a scenario here. Let's say you are a health and well-being practice. So typically you charge somebody by the hour. Now, of course, this might not apply to all kinds of health and well-being, but pretty much you could see something here that you could apply to your business. So you charge somebody, you charge them for 1 hour, and that's the way it normally works, 1 hour or half an hour, and that's that. They come and they go. But what if you actually were to provide something additional? So you could either take payment for a number of sessions in advance if it's appropriate for you to do so, in your field of expertise, So it would cost less for them for each one that they book. Or you could perhaps provide some products with another package. So it could be that if they pay for an hour, or they pay for 5 sessions and they get like a 10 or 20% discount, or they could get that plus some products for an amount that's going to give you a profit, but just get a bit more money out of them. So think of the options that you're providing and make sure that there is value that is going to pull them towards something more than just your standard thing that you deliver. Okay, strategy number 3 is give your customers what they want. Now, if you think about how it works in the world, movies are made based on some kind of demand, generally speaking. Something before that movie has happened that has caused that production company, that writer, whoever, to produce that movie. Now, Netflix doesn't have to go and do any deep research, in my mind anyway, to know what's going to work. They can just look at the box office and they know that people want a certain thing, so they can then strike up whatever licensing deals they need to get that onto their service. So putting this now in the context of you and your business, if you have existing customers and you want to make sure that you're providing value to them, make sure you're talking to them and providing what they want. So perhaps instead of taking a back foot, as some businesses do, and think, well, we're not going to give you that you didn't pay for that. Listen to them and provide what they're asking for, provided it's logical. It's logical to do so. You can. It's not going to cripple you. But if you give them what they're asking for, you'll be providing them with a better service, and then there's word of mouth and everything, and that will just work in your favor. And then you just have a better offering in general. Okay, strategy number 4 is build anticipation. Now, when Netflix has a new season or a new show coming, it typically doesn't just drop overnight and you find out about it tomorrow. Now, that is excluding the likes of J.J. Abrams, Cloverfield Paradox, and not so good movies like that, okay? But generally speaking, you're going to hear about it in advance. You're going to be getting emails. The banner is sort of in the sort of user interface. You'll see that there's something coming. So build anticipation. Now, how does that relate to you and your business, in real terms? Well, if you've got a new version of something coming out, a new product, whatever it is, and you've got weeks or months before it comes out, don't just wait until it happens and you do a soft release. I've seen this happening. I don't believe that's going to give you the sorts of results you could get if you actually build anticipation, get excitement going. So you could interview people internally within your offices, get people who are comfortable to talk, do a few practice runs on camera. You can just do this with your phone. That's how I do my videos. That's how I teach people to do their videos. And what you can do is just go around and interview people, practice beforehand, and ask them what they think about, the thing that they're most excited about. Because, within our offices, we're very excited, within our working environments, a lot of us are very excited about what we do. And the opportunity to share that and share what role we've had to play perhaps in the release, could be a great thing and build up a lot of team spirit. So you could do interviews, you could release those as videos, you could do quizzes, emails that can go out with fun gifts and things that just get people talking, and you can ask them questions, get feedback, use that to perhaps improve what you're still doing if it's not yet ready. So there are loads of things that you can do to build anticipation. Now, one of those things is to actually have a roadmap anyway. So do make sure you have a roadmap so that both your team, your staff know what's happening, obviously, and they can really be on board and excited. And your audience, your customers, they can see what's coming down the line and get excited too. So I kind of did those in reverse unintentionally, but provided you've got a roadmap so everybody knows what's going on, and then you build sort of excitement around that, then you're really going to get people excited and beside themselves for whatever that new thing is, and which, by the way, is also a great pre-sell strategy as well. But anyway, that's that strategy in general. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, strategy number 5 is make it binge-worthy. Now, there is a bit of overlap here with the previous strategy, but the idea is if you think of Netflix, typically you will get like 10 episodes and you can watch them back to back. This is typically with Netflix originals. Obviously with other shows that have been around for years or whatever, you get typically 22 episodes. But the bottom line is, when they release something, you get like all 10 episodes if it's a TV series. And people love to binge watch now. So thinking of your content and the things that you do, how can you make something binge-worthy? Well, you could do an email series where each email covers a particular subtopic. So there's a general theme, and each email leads on to the next. So there's a bit of a cliffhanger, so to speak, at the end of each one. So it could be, and I would say incorporate video into those. But either way, what will happen is at the end of each video and or email, you would say, and in tomorrow's or next week's email or video, we're going to talk about blah, blah, blah. So you've told them what's coming, they're excited. So there's that idea of, I can just watch one after the other. Now, of course, that's not quite the same as binge watching something on Netflix. So if you can actually even release something where it's content that they can just watch one after the other, a whole series, then do that. The idea is give people what they want, which I've already mentioned, but just give them lots of it, because right now we live in a time when people want a lot of something. And whether or not we think that's right, morally, ethically, or whatever, that's how people consume stuff. So unless you want to take a stand that says, I'm not going to do it, that's up to you. But if you want to be doing things that are working and have to do with the way people buy and consume products, then this is a strategy that you should consider. Strategy number 6 is use analytics. Now, I heard that when Kevin Spacey, back in the days when he was popular for good reasons, when he was cast to be in House of Cards, it was because the data that Netflix had said that people loved watching things that had Kevin Spacey in them, and they loved political drama. So it was decided, let's put him in a political drama. Now, I don't know how true that is, but either way, it doesn't change the fact that if you look at the data, and they say that data doesn't lie, provided it's not being manipulated. If you look at just the hard data, what does your data say? So what does your data say about your customers, your audience? What sort of trends are you seeing? And what sort of needs can you meet? Okay, so how can you get some of this data? Well, if you're not already using Facebook pixels and things like that, you should be, because that's going to let you know where people are going on your website and what they're doing. But there are many tools out there, so you just need to do a search for what's right for you. Get that data in, perhaps do quizzes and things like that, and then just look at what people are asking for, what they're saying, and make decisions based on the data. Okay, and strategy number 7, I can't say the word strategy after saying it so many times. Strategy number 7 is collaboration. Now, what Netflix does is, other than showing a back catalog of shows and their own Netflix originals, they also strike up deals with the likes of ABC and other networks to show TV shows that are current. So you would have Designated Survivor, new episode tomorrow, that sort of thing. You're not having to wait until this is available as an entire season. So they're doing collaborations like that. And by the way, if you do watch Designated Survivor, and that'll probably date this video, I just read that after being cancelled, Netflix has picked it up themselves. So if you are a fan of that show, not the best show in the world, but still good news, it is coming back. So collaborations, well, what can you do as a collaborative effort in your business? Well, here's an example. Let's say you run a small restaurant. So to get more people through the door, more bums in seats, what you could do is you could collaborate with a local baker perhaps, or a butchery, or a greengrocer, or something like that, and perhaps they could provide their produce where you mention this on menus, and perhaps you can do Facebook ads and things like that to sort of say, teaming up with so and so to bring you the finest in something or the other. You could do a competition whereby you look for sort of home chefs, mums and dads out there who love cooking, and you could do a competition to sort of like get someone to win, and they get a chance to cook something with your chef, to introduce a new meal on your menu or something. So there are lots of things you can do where you collaborate, and it can bring sort of interest, because people are saying, well, that's not the normal, I just go in, I look at the menu, I buy something. They do things slightly differently. So that's collaboration, and that is the last of the 7 strategies for this video. Okay, so that's it for this video. Those are 7 things that I think are great strategies to think about. You might think that they're not all relevant for your business, and that's a choice for you to make, but I think they're pretty good strategies. And if you're not already using them, you might want to think about them. So as I said, there is a blog post, which obviously I thought through more as I wrote it. So there will be things that it says which I didn't say now. So if you want to read it, you can do that. If you want to find out about my course on teaching people how to use their smartphones to make video, then you can check that out. There will be a link to that under this video somewhere as well. And thank you for watching. Like, share, follow, all that jazz, and I'll see you in another video. Take care.